Hey everyone, welcome back to Bushwick View Hub. Today we're going to be doing a couple of reviews because I'm pretty excited about the new upcoming season coming out of Reacher Season 3.
You just figured that out?
Now, today we're going to be doing a review, or a little bit of a chat about the first season, second season, and then a review of the trailer for the third season. Now stick around for them for the third season review, and now let's get into it. And just quickly, just like to thank all my subscribers for liking and watching my videos. Love yous all. And all the new watchers, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let's get on with it. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I probably didn't get into Reacher till, December, early January this year. And that was only because of the movie The Ministry for Ungentlemanly Warfare, which Alan Ritchson was in. And his role in that really, it got me because he was hilarious as well as the action. It was really good. And then I started looking into his roles and found out he did the Reacher series. So I was like, all right, let's go on Amazon Prime and check it out. Now, first I was getting confused, with the Jack Reacher ones that you had with Tom Cruise, and I was like, oh, hopefully it's not going to be a Tom Cruise whole, series. But once you get into Reacher, it's epic. And then it was also interesting to find out that, like, before I got into it, that Reacher was actually a book series before it was an actual TV series, and that was really interesting. So maybe I might even get into having a look at the books just to, get a jump on the season 3. All right, let's get stuck into the little review on season 1 and a little bit of a storyline behind it, and then we'll keep on going. And then don't forget to hang on till right at the end. That's when we do the review on season 3 of Jack Reacher, or Reacher. Now, once you get into it, the character Jack Reacher, to me, played by Alan Ritchson, he's a former US military police officer or a major, and he's like really good at his job, and he's seen a lot of combat experience. And then he prefers to live as a drifter rather than actually settling down somewhere and actually having a home. So then after he gets out of the military, he just prefers just to travel around the United States by himself on his own accord, way he wants to do it. Because he's been in the military all his life, been told what to do, where to go, and now he just wants to chill and be a drifter and do what he wants to do. Now in season 1, while visiting a fictional rural town in Georgia called Margrave, Reach is actually arrested for murder. And, after he gets arrested, a couple of sticky situations happen. He gets thrown in prison with this other dude. Maybe protects him just because, he's looking out for his own self. Really good fight scenes in that prison, I will admit that one. There's one little scene where he gouges a man's eye out. And like he said, he attacked me first, and that's pretty funny if you got to admit that one. So yeah, after a little bit of a sticky situation in prison, two of the only honest cops in town help to get him out of prison, and he teams up with them to help out to find what conspiracy is going on in their town. And once they get into it, they find how deep it actually goes, from other policemen, other lawmen, to politicians, to very high ranking people in the town, as well as just other town people are involved as well. As well as one of the other sad facts, once he's out, he finds out that the person they actually were trying to get him for murder for, which they couldn't get him because, all his alibis worked out, was actually his brother that got shot. So that makes it a little bit more personal for old Mr. Reacher. So he really decides then that he's really going to help these police officers out. He even calls in some help from one of his old team members from his army days, and she helps him out a bit. And they find out that the full conspiracy is about because his brother was working for Homeland Security, counterfeiting cash. And then, I tell you what, for the first season of me actually even watching it, that's where I really fell in love with it. Like, it was epic. The action, the storyline, even a couple of twists along the way, and even I really like the little side missions I sort of like to call them on the way, like where Reacher he kept going back for that dog, and then in the end, he took the dog off old mate. Like, that was really funny.
Doesn't deserve this.
Told you to stay off my property. Seriously.
And it was just good to see. Like, I know I didn't honestly expect this Reacher to be as good as what it was, because, like, I'd heard a bit about it, but no one actually told me how good it was until I myself was like, you know what, stuff it, I'll go check it out. After seeing him in that The Ministry for Ungentlemanly Warfare, Alan Richardson was really good in that one. If you haven't seen that one, definitely go check that out. Alright guys, let's move on to Season 2 of Reacher. Now Season 1 really had me like, it was action, suspense, twists, it was everything that you needed for a good first season, and I was very surprised as well as couldn't wait to see it when I heard that there was a second season of Reacher. Now the storyline for season 2 was pretty good because it flipped everything on its head. It was nothing like the first one, which is really awesome to see that they did for a season. Because some seasons, even though they're supposed to follow on, this one was really good to see that it just flipped completely on its head with a new story. Now in this one, Reacher is contacted by a former member of his actual military police unit that he put together back in the day. Now he was contacted because one of his old members of his crew as well was mysteriously murdered under weird circumstances, and the other fella really wanted some help on it. So Reacher decides to reassemble, his team so they can get to the bottom of it and work out what's going on. And then, you get to see some pretty kick-ass backstories of, the people that were in his actual group. But then, he actually doesn't get his full group to reassemble because a lot of his old team have been murdered. So what he decides to do is whatever team he has left that he has faith in, decides to grab them together, and they're going to go out and try and work it out and avenge their mates. Which, of course, I feel any of us would really want to do if we had the capability to do so. Now, after, some deaths, murders, revenge kills, a lot of epic action, twists, suspense, even love stories thrown in there, as well as one of my favourite bits is it was awesome to see. You got to see Robert Patrick, and he's actually playing the bad guy in season 2. And you got to love him because he was actually the bad guy out of Terminator 2, if anyone doesn't remember. If you haven't seen that, definitely go check out Terminator 2. It's an epic movie from back in the day. Now, back onto it. Now, after the team of vet does a lot of investigation, gets to, sticky situations, bit of killing, explosions, all that good action stuff. So yeah, their actual investigation leads them to a technology company with a corrupt security team that is looking to do deals with a dodgy old arms dealer. And then that's when it really gets interesting. Reacher finds out that in actual fact that he all along thought that one of his old crew was involved with it the whole time, and that they were actually one of the bad guys. When in actual fact, the bad guy himself, old Robert Patrick, he'd actually taken Homemate's eye and his finger and was using that as the security, biometric stuff to be able to, make it look like it was Reacher's guy that was being the bad guy all along, when in actual fact he wasn't.
Your buddy? He's here. You want to see him?
And then once Reacher really found out that this fella had killed a lot of his old team, yeah, he did some John Wick stuff. It was pretty good. Equalizer, John Wick, or realistically just some good old Reacher stuff. He just annihilated everyone and, as usual, walked away from it unscathed. Well, not really unscathed, but yeah, he walked away from it. So yeah, season 2 was like a complete flip on its head compared to season 1, and that made it extremely more interesting for me and made me definitely want to keep watching the whole thing. And then I feel that, other than, of course, Reacher, my favourite character in this one was the character in this one was called David O'Donnell. He was played by a fella called Sean Sipos.
So you're still using brass knuckles? No more switchblade?
Look down.
Hey, O'Donnell.
And he was actually a member of Reacher's army crew back in the days that Reacher was able to get and reassemble with him. And he was a funny little character. I like it because he always used to carry a set of knuckle dusters with him, and that's pretty cool. Alrighty, guys. So, alright, let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, everyone. Just before we dive into their last season and having a little bit of a chat about it, what I'd like to have a quick chat about is old Alan Ritchson. Now, I find it funny that, his first actual debut was in Smallville, and he was actually doing Aquaman. So I don't know how that would go. That would be actually pretty cool to see if, I don't mind Jason Momoa's, Aquaman, but imagine if Alan Ritchson came back and did Aquaman. That'd be pretty epic to see. Because, yeah, apparently he rocked up in between the 5th and 10th season of Smallville playing Aquaman. Now, that's actually pretty cool to find out. As well as, his other roles where he did, Raphael's voice, and he was in a couple of TV series. But the main one that originally got me, sort of into wanting to watch Reacher was seeing him in the Ministry for Ungentlemanly Warfare.
All are welcome. All are welcome. Even the little one. He can come soon.
That was a really good movie. He played a really good role in it. Good old Henry Cavill as well. I reckon all the boys in that movie played a really good role. That movie really cracked me up, as well as actually interesting when you look into it of how true they tried to follow along the storyline. Alright, I've got to stop talking about that movie because I really like that movie. I might have to do a review on it, actually. Now, let's have a little bit of a chat about Season 3 of Reacher.
How often do you do shit like this?
Every so often.
Now, of course, Alan Ritchson comes back to reprise his role as Reacher, and it's coming out on the 20th of February this year. So, really soon, so I can't wait to actually see it. Now, after watching the trailer for it, I was like, wow, they actually did it again, where they flipped the story completely on its head again. I love it how they do that. First one, in the country somewhere in a town. Second one, city, moving around, more action again. And then the third one.
Welcome to the team, Reacher. I'm in.
Alright, from the little trailer we get, good old Amazon Prime, they don't like to give away too much, but from what we see, it looks like Reacher gets a phone call asking for help from someone. I think it's probably DEA. And then what they want him to do is to go into a criminal enterprise, sneak into it, go undercover for him, help him out, and, sort of recover a person in there, maybe a DEA informant. Not too sure about that, but might be. And then once he's in there, looks like it gets a bit messy. And, when he's in there, he encounters a world of violence, a lot of secrets, and then he actually has to endure some stuff from his past. And then it even looked like in the trailer that old Reacher had found himself a fight that, he might have actually had a bit of trouble with that big fella. So yeah, honestly guys, after watching the first 2 seasons and then hearing about the 3rd season, I honestly can't wait to see it. Like, it's going to be another flip on its head completely from the other 2 seasons that we've had, definitely the storylines. It'll be interesting to see what things in his past that he comes across, or secrets, and of course the good old reach of violence that he has. His fight scenes are pretty good. It's good to see, like, he gets beaten as well. Like, in most movies, the action heroes or the heroes don't really get hurt, whereas at least in this one, you actually get to see him get hurt, and sometimes pretty bad. So yeah, definitely everyone mark that down for your calendars on the 20th of February this year. It's going to go off because that's when Reacher Season 3 comes out on Amazon Prime. Now again, just like to thank all my old subscribers for liking and watching all my videos. Thank you, I love you all. And to all the new watchers, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.